However, we have seen zoasty. He did lose a race against Steel and Red a while ago, so nobody is above dying in the wrecked ship. Nobody is above dying in all sorts of places. Not to jinx it, but
Or
anything could happen.
But now we are off, about to start this epic race, going into the urn.
The urn. The run begins in Sirius Station.
A very serious station, with a very serious boss fight, which you want to win in any case by damaging yourself down in 5 hits and escaping as soon as possible. Really interesting way of fighting an enemy.
Yeah, you can also shoot him 100 times, but that is significantly slower, so don't do that. It's much easier to just get hit by him 5 times. And you see zoasty actually having a bit of difficulty with that. He wants to get hit by the tail there because the tail deals the most damage, but if you hit the body, it only deals 5 damage. Yeah,
you were seeing zoasty getting a little bit late into the corner there, actually getting hit the first time only by the body. If we return to Ridley, however, he will deal more than 5 damage with his body without any suits next time, but we're gonna get to that a lot later in the run. That's actually a point that would make RBO a lot more enjoyable, but unfortunately it's not like that.
Yeah, RBO known for being miserable.
So he's having a little bit of problem with steam there. Getting up the shaft. Kind of fortunate. Understandable though, considering that he just woke up, but a 37-39 for a player of those tiers, like nothing he would look forward to. That would be like an instant reset if it would be a run and not a race. So yeah, let's Kanzeon gonna have a big chance here just by zoasty being so sleepy at this point. So we're gonna see how that turns out during the entire run.
Or perhaps he's just making it more dramatic and making it a bit closer of a race.
Well, we have seen some stuff runners did to make runs and races actually more thrilling. We've seen like actual route changes, like more complicated, more trolley routes, just to make runs and races more challenging. I'm sure both runners are not going to do that kind of stuff, but it's still going to be a good race. Also, shoutouts to Christophelo's cat for just farting him into the face.
Yeah, it happens.
So this part of the run, pretty straightforward, not any different from any percent. Just get down here, get the standard item, morph ball, and the missiles. Get up again, get the bombs, and from there on it's going to be a little bit different, but this part is pretty optimized for like every runner because it's probably the part you do most, since after that's like the point where you reset most, so gonna just do that stuff over and over again. The movement here is like as optimized as it could just be for those two runners.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time saves for these guys right now, unfortunately. And you're right. I think this is probably the point at which most runners reset, probably in the climb.
Yeah.
Or series.
Well, definitely high tier runners opting for a series time of like 46 or more. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The better you get, the higher standard you hold yourself to. So you start seeing a lot more resets from the runners. That being said, resetting not a viable strategy in a race. So hopefully we won't be seeing any of that today.
Well, yeah, definitely. There are some scenarios where resetting would actually be the better choice in case of a horrible soft lock, which will hopefully not happen. But yeah, that's tournament rules, right? Everything can happen. Even to the best and the worst runners.
Very true. So the two runners now, they're making their way across the pit room, and they're going to be making their way up the climb. And we'll probably see both of them hug the right side of the wall and just wall jump repeatedly. If you miss one of these wall jumps, it really sucks. You fall all the way back down. This looks pretty unassuming. These two runners make it look easy, but it's actually incredibly challenging.
Yeah, if you would have a look at the two hand cams of the two runners, only Zoasting is having his up at the moment, but just the movement of their hands is like incredibly fast, and it's like the way the muscle memory just burned into their flesh is like incredible how fast they do all these inputs and how precise they are with that. It's incredible.
Yep, and we actually see zoasty Bit of a misstep there, taking damage from the Gamer. He actually goes back and gets the health drop because he wants to go into Bomb Chorizo with full health.
Yeah, Bomb Chorizo without full health can be really trolly. It can work, but it's nothing you want to do if you don't want to force RNGs to give you the best of the best.
Yeah, you want Bomb Chorizo to drop missiles for you. Quickest way to kill him, 5 pea shooter shots and then 7 missiles.
zoasty finishing off Bomb Chorizo pretty quickly here. Kanzeon having a little bit more problem keeping up with his health, has to rely a little bit more on drops. Still, really fast fight here. We come up on a really cool trick that probably one of the most impressive was early on the run was the Alcatraz escape. Looks really cool, can be really hard to get down to.
Yeah, you don't say. It might be a little bit challenging.
Right? But yeah, both runners getting it quickly. Now opting for the Terminator E-Tank and then going down to Green Brainstar, where we're gonna see the first deviation of any percent and 100%.
zoasty, reverting to any percent strats, conserving his health. He's going to be destroying the crab thingies in Brinstar to get his missiles back. Meanwhile, zoasty just running through the space pirates. I believe that is the faster strategy. Doesn't really make it's very marginal at this point, however, and I think zoasty might actually want to be conserving his health because I think we might see a very slight deviation in the route where he grabs early power bombs. I know he was talking about it on his stream earlier today.
There are a few of these deviations that you can do that save like marginal amount of times to different amounts of risks. Power bombs, well, those things. So here you can see actually after getting the early power bombs, or getting back with a little bit damage boost here, getting those 2 missiles in the reserve tank, there you can actually see that this is 100%. Both are just getting the damage boost, and the fun thing about this is that this early in the run, we're actually going to see one of the hardest mark balls in the entire run, the reverse mark ball over this bridge here. And saves about 7 seconds, I think. Pretty hard to pull off. You gotta like buffer the jump, and hopefully both runners will get it. Looks really impressive. It's hard to pull off. Yeah, we're gonna see how the runners do here.
Yeah, zoasty is such a consistent runner. He's probably gonna get it. Makes it look easy, just straight across the bridge, going for the optimal strat of quick falling through those blocks. And then he's gonna jump his way out of there. That is the optimal strat, but it's also so challenging to pull off. So very nicely done by zoasty.
Yeah, unmorphing on the scramble block glitch and then actually getting the jump with a quick drop can be kind of challenging. Kanzeon also getting the reverse mark ball really good here, not going for the difficult drop down, which saves only a marginal amount of time, but still really good that he got the reverse mark ball. That's the most important part about this room here.
Picking up the charge beam. zoasty with a fairly sizable lead already, despite the mishap in Series Station. He's making up that time. Just very precise movement, very practiced.
Yeah, he definitely got a warm up here. That's incredible. Also, in case Chad wants to know, since Zeus is having the current world record of 100%, he's having a splits up, so we're gonna give you a constant update if he might actually be on world record pace or not, which may happen or may not happen. We'll see. So both runners making the wise decision to picking up charge beam, which is a little bit slower than the task route, but still really nice for someone who cannot manipulate drop RNG perfectly well. zoasty going here for the deviation of the route we talked about earlier, getting early power bombs here.
Yeah, and the reason for this is he's going to be grabbing the Kraid missiles using these power bombs so he doesn't have to go back for them later. I think it's actually very marginally faster for him to do this.
Yeah, also a really technical wall jump to get up there, Red Tower, something you gotta do in new any percent route. If you're used to it, you can do it. It's really nothing that you would do as a new runner, since it only saves like a very marginal amount of time. It's like rather hard to pull off. But yeah, now Kanzeon actually going down, not going for early power bombs, collecting the Spacer. Really cool item, making the shoot sound a lot more enjoyable. Not making only the pew pew, but actually like a cool shot sound.
It's more of a pow pow, I would say, than a pew pew.
Well, the pea shooter is pretty much like pew pew. It's like first generation Star Wars shooters, I want to say.
Very accurate. So it appears like Kanzeon has taken the lead. That being said, he's gonna have to grab those power bombs that zoasty already grabbed, and he's gonna have to go back for those Kraid missiles later on. So zoasty, even though it appears he's not in the lead, he's definitely ahead right now, I think.
Yeah, sure is. Even though this might change with the upcoming first major boss fight here, both runners are going to attempt a strat that's called the Kraid Crit Kill. You're going to see, hopefully, Kraid getting down before he's actually supposed to go down, getting into his second phase. You want to shoot a super at a certain frame of his mouth opening animation to get him just basically locked and giving him an overdose of damage so that he's dying rather quickly. Hopefully both runners will get it off. But if Zeus doesn't and Kanzeon does, this may actually be somewhat of a major turning point here. We actually saw runners already dying to phase 1 and phase 2 Kraid. Kanzeon going for a charge shot method with 4 supers, nailing it without any problems. Really well done here. Not the fastest strat, but still one of the easier strats and definitely a really consistent strat.
Yeah, and that I don't think there's actually an easy way to get the quick kill. That trick's pretty challenging. There is a 3-frame window to freeze his mouth open there, so no matter which method you do, the timing's very tight.
Yeah. I mean, easy in like a relative sense in a world where we do CWJs in any percent.
Yeah, I suppose a 3-frame window is better than a 2-frame window, to be fair.
Right. So zoasty here going for the missile setup with 2 missiles and 3 supers, also nailing it, no problem. Having the big advantage that you'll never have to return, as you already said, to Kraid Slayer here, well, Kanzeon has to do that. Getting that E-tank early is also a little deviation you can do, since you have to return here anyways. You can get that E-tank later, allowing you to have more energy for the wrecked ship area coming up once you get here. But that's like only a marginal difference, and it's like all about preference here. Like there are a lot of little changes you can do to your 100% route that will make it just your run and to whatever you feel comfortable most with.
Kanzeon heading towards the high jump boots, named because they make you jump higher. You know, I say a lot of dumb things like that, but I actually learned the other day that the Varia suit is named because originally in the first Metroid game, it was a mistranslation and it was supposed to be barrier suit, but they just kept it throughout the series, and now Varia suit is a thing.
I didn't know that. Wait, why barrier suit though? What is?
Well, because it shields against damage.
Oh.
So barrier.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Good to know. Wait, did zoasty actually open the door in there? It's too fast. I didn't see it.
I certainly hope so. If not, he can always go the other way. Actually, I don't think he did. He might be jumping up through the bottom part there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but he has to get the missiles anyway, so it looks like not. Oh, he's going. Oh, right. Since he has the power bombs, he can lay one there, creating a little bit of lag there. I actually don't know if that's slower. Or may actually, yeah, it's probably even faster. Just a tiny little bit getting that Mappa out of there. Just seeing the advantages you have with power bombs here. All those tiny deviations here. So now, Kanzeon fighting the final boss of the game, King Cactac on the top of Bubble Mountain, getting him down with 2 shots of space, and really well done here. Not giving him a chance to push him down Bubble Mountain can be really punishing if that happens to you in a run.
Yeah, very aggravating with that cack attack. If he fires his spine at the wrong moment, it drops you down Bubble Mountain, just ruins your day.
Yeah, that is not a good day if Cactac pushes you down Bubble Mountain. So now we get Kanzeon coming up on one of the most interesting items here in 100%, the Speed Booster, allowing for a hell lot of cool tricks here.
Also makes you go faster, so that's why you get it.
Right? I mean, it's speedrun, so you want to get the Speed Boosters. That makes sense.
Also required in 100% as it is one of the items. And you need every item 100%. So
nice little high five here on the way to Speed Booster here for Zoast. Actually catching up on Kanzeon quite fast here, even though he has 1 power bomb advantage.
So I think pretty soon here, we're going to start seeing some deviations in the routes that these runners are taking.
Yeah.
They're both going to be grabbing the Wave Beam after grabbing the Speed Booster, but then Kanzeon will be heading towards Crocmire, while Zoasty will be skipping him entirely and heading towards Ice Beam, making his way back up towards the wrecked ship.
Yeah, and the reason for that deviation is a 20-second time saves, which includes not only one, but actually a few really hard tricks that you have to nail to get all those 20 seconds of time save. Really risky, really hard to pull off optimally, but like once people actually started to do it, and once world records were made with those with this kind of route, it was kind of pointless to get back to old route, especially for those high tier runners. There were rumors that Zoast would actually roll a dice about which route he's going to do at AGDQ. I don't believe that, but it's still a thing, since old route is a lot more safer, especially in races, and that's also one thing you're definitely aiming for here.
Yeah, there's a couple tricks in new route that if you screw them up, it cost you about 20 seconds at a time for each time that you screwed up. So old route definitely more consistent, but new route definitely a bit faster.
So yeah, we're gonna see Zoasty here now. Not getting down there as Kanzeon did into that door with our good friend Crocomire. Such a friendly smile with all those eyes. His tiny little tail. Isn't he adorable?
Very adorable. However, I do hate this boss because he you can see Kanzeon getting some RNG there. Sometimes, every time Crocomire steps back, he has the chance to either swipe at you or he'll just open his mouth. And if he swipes at you, it takes a little bit longer. I actually had a run the other day where he swiped at me 8 times, and I decided then and there I would be learning new route, because in new route he doesn't have the opportunity to swipe at you at all.
Yeah, I guess Kanzeon could have had worse RNG, but still far away from like an ideal RNG run here. On Crocomire. Also, Kanzeon, you saw him shooting at the right side of the door here with on the right side of the wall here with Wave Beam. That sets him up for a wraparound shot. Basically opens the door on the left side of the room while shooting at the right side of the room, allowing him here for a really cool Shine Spark, saving some time on getting his first power bombs here.
Yeah, and we'll see that trick coming up a bit later in the run as well. I think there's about 3 wraparound shots that the runners can do that save them time.
Should be right, yeah. Also, I just love how they put the skeleton of Crocomire in here. Just makes this so cool. Oh yeah, and Kanzeon actually nailing that Shine Spark here, getting to those power bombs. Actually saves quite a bit of time. It's not too hard to get up there again if you don't get the Shine Spark. Still feels really good to get. Zoast opting here for Alpha Spark, unfortunately not opening the door there. To get the Shine Spark all the way through that room as well.
That's just as well, because that'll give him a little bit of extra health heading towards the wrecked ship, and with only 3 energy tanks, he's probably got to watch his energy. I mean, a runner of zoasty's skill level, it's probably not going to matter too much, but as we've seen in this tournament, no runner is above dying.
Definitely. So now Kanzeon picking up the grapple beam. Really fun item. Do a lot of fun stuff with it. One of the things would be grappling Quackmire, which Kanzeon unfortunately already killed. Makes up for some really fun stuff with his tongue. Also Kanzeon going for the setup there where you can grapple over those enemies directly to the missile upgrade up there. Really precise, somewhat hard to get. Fortunately doesn't get it, which loses him quite a bit of time, but gets it back up there where you just jump directly up with a wall jump. Really not that fast, but it's not a shame to miss those grapple beam shots on those enemies there all the way across to the missile pack.
Yeah, I believe we call that strat the Indiana Jones.
Right. It just, yeah, nothing more to say to that. So now zoasty going for a wonderful trick called Ocean Fly. Still, I'm actually not sure if it's... I don't even think it's the fastest strat. It's definitely the most amazing looking strat, actually nailing it, but also it's the most health draining strat, and considering that he only has 3 energy tanks at this point, health management in Rack Chip, which is like the only part where you really have to do health management and that really well, it's gonna be hard for him. Even though he's that high tier of the player, it's really not that easy with only 3 tanks and that low of energy entering Rack Chip. So it's gonna rely a lot on the Fantoon fight and the drops that he's gonna get from Fantoon. So we're gonna see about that in just a second. Also, in case if folks are wondering, currently Zoast being about 26 seconds behind his personal best. But
still on pace for an insane run.
Definitely, and Fantoon RNG always makes up for some nice changes in the pace, in one or the other direction. So I think Zoast is going to go for a Doppler strat here, where you basically shoot 2x2 missiles into Fantoon per phase, and then like basically try to pump as many others in as possible while start tapping into him. Just like, gonna see it in just a second. Optimally, you aim for a 2-round Fantoon. There has been humanly done 1-round Fantoons, but it would be incredible hard. The time would be just insane. Also, Kanzeon nailing that Alpha Spark here. Really nice. There's a lot more energy than Zeus has at this point, so not really a problem for him here.
Yeah. 39 energy. Zeus really has to watch his health here.
Still, nice 2-round here. Actually, not getting the worst RNG. Could be worse.
Pretty close, though. Pretty close to the worst RNG Fantoon can give you.
Well, I mean, anything that is not a slow is kind of good, considering like how high the chances are. Actually, don't have the numbers in my head, but it's like getting the fastest pattern is like actually really unlikely over like getting the slowest pattern. So now for Zoast upcoming we have 2 super missile packs and then a room that we speedrunner call the Spiky Room of Death, which is called that because it's spiky and many people die there.
Yeah, I've definitely died in this room in my race against Total a few weeks back. Very demoralizing. The reason that you can die in there is because the spikes, when they drop on you, they will deal 100 damage. And because the room is also flooded, the water really slows you down and just screws up your movement, so it really sucks.
Yeah, you're usually supposed to have Gravity Suit at that point, which not only halves the damage you get, but also makes you move a lot smoother in water. And yeah, also I died there on my last race as well. It's not really nice for that to happen, so I hope for both runners it's not gonna happen to them. Also for those, this segment will be a little bit harder for the last room where the E-Tank is, those runners are opting for, since he doesn't have Grapple Beam, and Grapple Beam is like kind of intended to have at that point. But yeah, he's getting past the Spiky Room of Death, now coming up on a horizontal bomb jump that he's hopefully gonna nail, together with like a really cool jump strat over there.
Yeah, but it
a little
gets
bit
pretty
careful
precise
here. Oh, unfortunately missing the bomb jump. The good thing, however, is that those spikes at the bottom of the tank don't deal that much damage, so he'll have quite a few tries on that, but still loses him a lot of time every time he's missing it, and he's missing it again, unfortunately. In the meantime, Kanzeon going for the fastest setup to get past the moat with Grapple Beam. An item that you don't see that often used in speedruns, but it's still pretty cool. Probably one of the most broken items as well. Oh, and Zoast having actually a really hard time here getting to that E-Tank. Now getting it with 57 energy left.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate time loss from Zoasty. That being said, I think he still has a fairly sizable lead over Kanzeon. Actually, it's pretty close. It's hard to tell because the runners are taking different routes, so it's tough to say who's ahead right now.
Definitely Kanzeon made up some time here, since he's going to have a much better time here getting to that E-Tank since he has Grapple Beam. It's going to also rely on Kanzeon's RNG here and his execution with Fantoon. If he gets a fast or a mid or something like that, and actually manages to get a 2-round, this may be a really big time save here on Kanzeon for Red Chip. Now, Zoast in one of the most hard to optimize rooms, the attic, going for blue ball strat here. Doesn't quite nail it still, really impressive how fast you rush through here. Coming up on some annoying work robots that are sometimes really hard to deal with. Also, Kanzeon, you can see him going for a different strat here than Zoast used for Fantoon. He's going for a special beam attack called the X Factor, where you only have charge wave and power bombs equipped, and it's going to create such an accent. If you hit all 4 particles plus 2 charge these rounds, you're going to have a 4 as well. Pretty hard to learn the patterns, getting all the particles in, but nails it perfectly, getting a nice 2-round here from Kanzeon, really nice. And his health also looks really good. It's kind of going to depend on his drops, but this looks pretty solid for him so far.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. He certainly, and plus he has that energy in his reserves as well, so he should be fine going into Spiky Room as long as there's nothing disastrous upcoming for him.
Well, reserve tanks are not really like that helpful in Spiky Room. Still nice to have it. It's just, I don't know, Spiky Room is just horrible. Just, I mean, you're not supposed to do it the way those runners are doing it without gravity, but still, it's not a really fun room. It's definitely one of the most dangerous rooms in the entire run, if not the most dangerous.
I would definitely say it's the most dangerous room. I think I've lost the most runs to that room. And we can see Zoasty in the bowling room. It looks like he's firing shots at random and dropping a power bomb for good luck. But this is actually called the TAS bowling strat, where he manipulates the position of the work robots below the spikes there, so that it'll save him some time when he goes through that part of the room.
Yeah, also that power bomb blowing off a Chosen statue, holding some missiles, which will basically allow him through a tiny path where you're supposed to shoot at those work robots for a long time, lifting that power bomb makes it just a lot faster, but it's incredibly hard to pull off, especially since there are not really a lot of visual cues for the bowling room, since it all looks so similar. And it's really hard to tell if you got it unless you're actually there, so we'll see that in just a second. Naming the strat, really well done. It's allowed to rush through here in no time. Again, that's really hard to pull off. Also, Kanzeon now on Spiky Room of Death, going for a really safe strat here. Nails it without even taking damage. Really well done here. So that's kind of out of the danger zone for Kanzeon for now. However, after obtaining the E-Tank, it's also going to be a lot about health management, since you want to have about 300 energy being back at your ship, allowing you to go for a strat that's called the Gauntlet Spark, which we will hopefully see from both runners in a few minutes without having to refill at the ship.
Yeah, Zoasty might not have enough health to do it, but he might be able to dip into his reserve tank and see if that helps him out.
So now the reverse Spiky Room of Death. Actually, in my opinion, more challenging than the normal Spiky Room of Death in the right order, but Also nailing that without taking damage. Really nicely done here by Kanzeon.
You're going for a D-boost off that bull there. Very nicely done.
Yeah. So now we're gonna see Attic here from Kanzeon. Again, really hard room to optimize. A lot of strats you can do there already. You can Shine Spark, Blue Ball, do some kind of speed keep. There are really a lot of options you can do. We're gonna see what he decides for. Also, it looks like, yeah, Xos is gonna do late Gauntlet here.
That's very interesting. I don't know the route that he's gonna take here.
Actually, me neither. So, also we're not gonna be able to keep up with like the distance of the two runners anymore. So Zo's on a really solid pace here, even though he's far off from PB pace. Considering that he has the world record, it's like still an amazing run for Zost at this point. Kanzeon, not really a lot of problems with those rock robots here. Again, they can really troll you with letting them through at some point. Yeah, generally a really annoying room for 100%. Not really hard, but just hard to optimize. Sometimes just kind of RNG-ish. And yeah. So now upcoming on Zeus, we will see some few adorable creatures called the Edikuns singing the 101st item fanfare.
Yeah, hopefully this is the last time we see them.
We're gonna see them at least one more time in Kanzeon stream, and then definitely 2 more times, because both runners are gonna save the Edikuns, since they're so adorable and so awesome, and they teach you wall jumping.
Pretty sure they're not gonna do that.
I am, but we'll see. You may have to pay me the ticket for Rogue One, if I'm right.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
So, Kanzeon now in the bowling room, in the hands of the chosen statue. Do you want to say something about that situation? What you can do, like, if you are in the bowling room waiting for the cutscene to finish.
Yeah. There's a really good strat that you can do here, actually. What I do in this room is I take out my phone and I check my Tinder. There's actually 3 points in the run that you can do that, making it a very viable strat to just have Tinder open on your phone all the time throughout the run.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Every time I see Christofolo checking me out on Tinder, I know, oh, he's doing an 100% run. So that's really nice if you want to stalk some friends. It's like really usable.
Definitely. The other day when I was in that room, I actually got a bunch of Snapchats from my ex-girlfriend, and I didn't check them. So that was another strat that you can employ, is ignore people.
Right? Zoasty actually going here for some really interesting and really hard pink Prince cleanup strats. Really high-end stuff we see here from him. While Kanzeon is almost done with the rack chip, only keep getting the pink suit here. Also called the gravity suit, which allows you to manipulate gravity, I guess. It has never really been called the underwater suit, even though that's like the only thing it's used for, except for Avram, I think. Then yeah, it's like basically allowing you to move underwater, that's it.
Yeah, I call it the swimsuit.
Alright.
Because it allows you to swim. Sort of. Yeah, you're not even swimming, so I don't know why I call it that, but you're underwater. Anyways, Zoasty going for the Spore Spawn skip. There's actually a pretty precise setup for it. Zoast making it look easy, but you want to be standing in a pretty pixel-perfect position to hit that super missile block going into that room. So very nicely done.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with how the camera is scrolled. Really technical. There's actually quite some setups which are all equally precise. Like when you learn this trick, it's like you should really watch a tutorial on that, or like ask a few people. Like I tried to figure out this trick by myself and was just randomly jumping around there. You should, like, it's really more precise than it looks.
Yeah, and I'm sure Kanzeon's going to make it look easy too when he makes it to that room.
Right. And for a nice Shine Spark strat here, since he has so much energy left here, going for like having more than 300 energy at this point is like really insane. Like, he made a really good job with health management here in the wreck ship. Now coming up on a trick that Zeus didn't do so far, called the Gauntlet Spark. He's gonna set up here for a pixel perfect shot on the right wall. Again, a wraparound shot, opening a door on the left side of the wall. Then allowing him to charge a Shine Spark here, and Shine Sparking all the way through this room and the next room. Unfortunately, missing charging this Shine Spark up there, getting a backup though, however, down here. And he got the Gauntlet Spark, really nice. It's the longest Shine Spark 100%, and one of the, I want to say one of the best and most swaggish Shine Sparks in Super Metroid in any category.
Definitely. Also saves you a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah. Also, Zeus getting Blockbuster here. Also, a really precise trick.
Blockbuster, no problem.
Right. Yeah, getting that blue, that speedball there and getting the shot to open the door is incredibly precise and almost impossible to nail, at least for me. But I guess for someone like Zeus who does it like casually, it's not that big of a deal.
And we can actually see Kanzeon here. He needs to fall down that crumble shaft, and he needs to break both sides of the blocks before they, and not fall down one side or the other, because otherwise they will respawn, and he would have to go through the gauntlet again.
Yeah, losing a significant amount of time. Also, the way zoasty just got those Main Street missiles here, the first item in Meridia, actually really hard to pull that off, getting that stellar free tap down there instead of like going a little bit more up, having for an easier short charge. That's pretty hard, actually nailing it first try, pretty impressive here. Even though someone like Zeus should be used to doing something like stellar free tap.
Yeah, and that's, you know, honestly, I'm not sure how I figured out how to get those missiles casually, because you actually, it's designed to, you want to charge a Shine Spark in the next room and then carry it into that room there. That's how you're supposed to get them. But it took me ages to figure that out when I was a child.
Yeah, definitely one of the most, one of the hardest items to get for casual. Not necessarily the most well hidden, since you can see them without even having X-ray. But yeah, definitely one of the hardest to get for casual. Probably one of the reasons why like it's so hard to actually get 100% on like your first few playthroughs without considering like a guide or something. So now Kanzeon coming up on our good friends the Edikuns. Hopefully not the last time we see them in this race.
Hopefully the last time we'll see them in this race. Zoasty making his way through the beach. This room here that he's entering, it's one of the most challenging rooms to get through. There's not really an optimized strat to get through here, so it kind of sucks, but we see Zoasty again making it look easy.
I guess that's pretty much as optimized as you can get with that damage boost, which is, again, all those tiny damage boosts and all this like stuff that looks like it's only saving like a fraction of the time. It is way harder than it actually is. Just to point that out. Just since those two runners are chaining it like all together, making it like look so easy, it's actually insanely hard.
Zoasty making his way through the aqueduct. He's going to be coming up on Botspoon. He's going to be dropping a X Factor on him and then firing 6 super missiles for the fastest strat, hoping to kill him in 1 round. But Botsmoon can be super irritating with his patterns, so we'll see what happens.
Actually, one of the few bosses where I think most players are actually using an audio cue. Fortunately, missing some of the particles here on Botsmoon. Still getting quite some supers in. Actually saving some supers. Finishing him off with missiles. Not a bad choice considering that he has 9 at this point. Will eventually make for a much faster Dragon fight in case he's missing the optimal Shine Spark strat, which can happen due to bad Dragon RNG or like bad execution, and that means like really hard to pull off. Also, Zeus going for a trick. Actually, going for the full halfy here, allowing you to shine spark all across this room. That's called the Kanzeon.
I think he was just a pixel too low there, unfortunately.
Yeah, only getting the halfy, which is still hard, still saves you a lot of time since, again, Kanzeon is a room that is really hard to optimize. There are some damage boosts you can do, but there's really no way to get like really fast through this room. With all the floating sand, it's kind of annoying.
So I think at this point, it's pretty obvious that Zoast has a very sizable lead over Kanzeon, as he's about halfway through Meridia, whereas Kanzeon has yet to enter Meridia. I mean, there are still the route differences, but it's... Oh, and Zoast using a spike suit. Wow, okay. Casual spike suit.
So what just happened there, is Zoast basically charged a Shine Spark, morphed, unmorphed on the electric field, and then performing a double frame perfect execution of unmorphing and shine sparking, basically allowing him for a free shine spark here, which he just used. Unfortunately, not getting enough damage in with the supers on Dragon's belly here. Still getting that spark spike suit is incredible. Now, actually nailing that.
Doing it again! Wow.
Again, that's insane. That's some high tier playing right here. Also, big advantage of like most runners actually only go for blue suit that Zeus got. Big advantage of spike suit or spark suit, or I don't even know is it spike suit or spark suit? I think you can actually say both. Anyways, big advantage over blue suit is that you can actually hold dash. Which is not possible with blue suit because otherwise you would lose it. Disadvantage of spark suit, however, anything that would normally activate a shine spark will happen with spark suit as well. So you have to be extremely careful to conserve it to the point where you actually need it. There is another part in this run after Crocomire where hopefully he will also get the spark suit, but that's gonna be way later in the run, and is actually one of, like, the thing with the spark suit is that it's actually within the 20-second time save of New Route, which is kind of insane because that's, first of all, extremely difficult to get, and second of all, extremely hard to keep till the point where you actually need it. But we'll see if this gets it.
I think he's gonna go for it. I have a good feeling about this run. Ooh. Dropping down through the aqueduct using his blue suit there. Nice.
Kanzeon getting the Main Street missiles with stellar free tap. Again, really impressive trick. So yeah, also, for Zoasty now coming up after the second pit, he's gonna collect the Spring Ball. And here we're gonna see one of the hardest tricks of New Route, which is a really I think it's a pixel perfect ice clip you have to perform to skip a crumbling grapple block. And since Zoast obviously doesn't have grapple beam, he has to do that. If he nails it first try, he will probably actually save time with this route. If he only misses this a single time, he will automatically lose time on old route, and he missed it. So now every time he misses it again, this is a big time save for Kanzeon actually.
Yeah, and again, there's not really any shame in missing this. The trick is, like you said, pixel perfect. The setup is extremely challenging, and he does have a fairly sizable lead over Kanzeon still. So as long as he gets it within the next couple tries, he should be okay.
Yeah, also health is not really a point, it's just you really want to get it over. Yeah, he gets it third try. Still really impressive considering how hard the trick is. So now he's in Shaktool's room, and well, there's again a lot of strats you can do this room. You can check your Tinder, check your Snapchat. I actually just got a message from Zoast with some nudes. Really impressive.
Oh wow, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm gonna link them in the speed gaming chat in just a second. But for now, what's your opinion on killing Shaktool and not killing Shaktool?
You know, I didn't know that was a thing prior to this race, or this tournament, I should say. I have accidentally killed Shaktool a few times, so I think it's karma to not kill him, and then he'll treat you right.
All right. Zoasty actually going here for a strat where the snail finishes off a little work of Shaktool, not killing him. May actually do that on the way back. So may do Kanzeon on him. But yeah, as you said, I actually didn't know that myself till this tournament. It's pretty similar to saving and killing the animals, even though there's like less actually hate about the two sections, whatever. Like people don't hate each other as much as saving and killing the animals. It's like kind of accepted to do both.
Saving and killing the animals, definitely a huge thing, as it is one of probably the main donation incentive for AGDQ and SGDQ for every Super Metroid race that they do.
It raises so much money, it's insane. I think there wasn't it like last GDQ where only saving and killing the animals raised as much money as like the first few AGDQs. Like
yeah, it was something like $100,000 or something just unbelievable.
Yeah, and all that just for one pink pixel. It's insane. I love this community. It's great. So now while Zoasty is collecting the Plasma Beam, definitely most powerful weapon in this game, Kanzeon is making his way to Bothoon. Hopefully he'll get the one round Zoasty was not able to get. We'll see about that. Also going for the X-Factor setup. A little bit different here. Unfortunately, also not nailing all the particles. However, big advantage over Zeus, the particles disappeared a lot faster, which gives him the opportunity to unlock his supers a lot faster. Which is kind of always annoying, especially in the Phantoon fight, if there are those huge particles flying around that you cannot do anything since your beam and your missiles are blocked.
Yeah, Bothoon being very rude with his patterns, however, giving Kanzeon a bit of grief. He's going to be going for the halfie, I assume. Meanwhile, Zoasty and Kakatak allied this room. Ooh, very nicely done by Zoasty. Looks so clean to hop over that Kakatak.
That mockball getting out. Also, Kanzeon nailing the halfie. Really nice. So yeah, Zoast almost done. We're gonna see if he's getting the Aqueduct missiles and supers the really fast way. With a nice little speed keep that is insanely hard to pull off. Unfortunately, doesn't get it, so I'll have to do the kind of slow way. A short tap here instead of a speed keep. Again, we're talking about really high tier strats here, and it's really not a shame of missing those. Still, for someone who's aiming for world record times constantly, it's still want to get all of those strats in.
You see some nice quick falls from Zoasty. Kanzeon going to be fighting Dragon. I think he's probably going to opt for the Shine Spark strat here.
Yeah,
same thing that's
already pre-selecting the problems, so probably also opening with the X Factor. Oh, going for a really nice setup, which I prefer a lot over the like there are a few setups for where you can actually activate the X Factor. Most people do it at the crap, but this is a really nice setup here from Kanzeon. I like that a lot, with all those dancing particles. Deciding to finishing him off with some supers, not going for another round, which will save him some time. However, missing him the opportunity on Blue Suit, which would allow him for a reversed full halfie, but it's not guaranteed to get it even if you kill Dragon with a Shine Spark, and you may actually get chain damaged by Dragon's back. It's kind of a weird thing with Shine Sparking Dragon, I guess, since you're not really supposed to do that.
Also, he's got to watch his super missile account, as he only has one.
Yep. Has few options to get some supers, but still, So Supercon at this point looking a lot better, even though he's already done with Nerdy, of course. Doesn't have to go for Crate Slayer again since he did early power bombs, now opting for the rest of the Upper Norfair cleanup and then entering Lower Norfair for the final major boss before Mother Brain. And another really cool major item.
Kanzeon going for the short charge, but then going for the backup to pick up the aqueduct missiles and supers. Meanwhile, wow, very nice speedball from Zoast. Whew.
Yeah, there are some crazy strats you can do here with the Spring Ball. Really underestimated item. Like especially for speedruns, there are some insanely hard and yet really cool looking strats and actually save you a lot of time. Going for a nice little damage boost here into the lava dive room. Also you're saving quite some time, because it's actually really hard to get down there fast without getting that damage boost. Going for the blue fireball strat here. And nailing it. There's so many cool strats with Spring Ball. It's definitely one of the best items.
Again, Zoasty making it look easy as he enters the lavatory and drains the acid from the Chozo toilet.
Coming up on the final mini-boss here of the 100% run. Gold Chorizo. It's pretty lame of the boss if you don't know that like charge shots are like a big deal here. Speedrunners are gonna make this fight even easier. Gonna be on a very certain spot here that he can line up with like a pillar in the background or his foot. Basically just locking him into the right corner and just shooting upwards or downwards depending on your control scheme, hitting him like twice per shot and making like incredibly quick work with him.
Yeah, every shot, since it just hits him twice, cut the fight time in half, so very nicely done. Meanwhile, Kanzeon's checking his Tinder in the Shack Tool room. Perhaps ignoring some Snapchats from his ex-girlfriend. We don't know. Anything could happen here.
And now Zoast has the screw attack, dealing 2000 damage per frame in a 60 FPS game. I love that.
That's a lot of damage.
Going for fast pillars here with Shine Spark. And now coming up on this stream, we have the worst room in the game, which is like a joke in 100%, but still really the worst room in the game in any percent.
Screw attack definitely making it a little bit easier as he can just screw through the enemies.
Just a little bit.
He's gonna grab those, what are these called? Mickey Mouse missiles. Then hopefully not falling through the crumble blocks on his way back.
Yeah, Springball making not falling through crumble blocks a lot easier, as you saw here in Zoast's screen. You can, if you just hold the A button, you will never fall down through crumble blocks with Springball, which makes this incredibly convenient. So you gotta know that they're there, not miss the timing. But yeah, getting down there, actually a big time loss. There were some others before, like the GT missiles or the Idakun stuff with the super missiles and the E-tank. Loses you a little bit of time if you fall down the crumble blocks there, but so far none of Furnace did any of that, which is really, really good. It really sucks if that happens to you in a run, even though it's still possible that you PB with such things happening. Probably not on like Zoast's skill, but yeah, for like lower tier runs, it's definitely possible.
We actually saw a runner fall down there a couple times and still managed to pull off a 122. So
Right.
it's I mean, it sucks, but it's not like something you can't come back from necessarily.
Right. Definitely.
Destroying the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with some well-placed plasma shots, and going through. These strats are just unbelievably fast.
What the heck? Yo, that is insane. With the damage boost and the springboard, this is just having the right momentum for this is. Oh gosh. Going for a little Ridley dance here for the opener. Ridley, not really a hard boss, especially not 100%. However, can still be really time determining depending on what pattern you get. Somewhat hard to influence him actually. You just want to get him done like really quickly. And actually, Zoe is making pretty good work with him so far, getting some really nice patterns here off Ridley. Jumping into his claws, that was an insanely good fight, insanely good Ridley patterns here at Zoasty's screen. Oh yeah, that can be really run determining if you're like scratching off a few seconds of your PB.
Yeah, an unbelievable Ridley fight. Zoast, pretty much a master at manipulating his position. Meanwhile, Kanzeon is wrapping up the rest of Meridia.
Yeah, almost done here.
Lower Norfair.
And again, even though Zoast is ahead at this point by a fair amount, you gotta consider that Zoast is doing new routes, so he still has to opt for, well, those reverse Kagos, I love it. He still has to go for Crocomile, which still will cost him some time, even though with Plasma it's making pretty quick work there, but Kanzeon doesn't have to do that, so the lead of Zoast is currently not as big as it seems to be, even though it's still quite noticeable.
Yeah, it's still definitely fairly sizable, as Zoasty making his way out of Lower Norfair before Kanzeon has even entered Norfair for the second time.
Right. The cutoff point is basically the upper Norfair elevator leading into Brinstar, I believe. Yeah, right. That's pretty much the point where you can see how far the routes and the paces really deviate from each other. Also, Kanzeon here having to go back into Crate's lair because he didn't go for early power bombs as Zoast did, having to get the Crate missiles here behind a few power bomb blocks in the wall.
Bear in mind, though, Zoasty does have to do the gauntlet still.
Right, yeah. Alright, he also did the gauntlet. I forgot. So basically, the cutoff point is just when they enter Turian. It's really hard in 100% to like keep up with all that stuff. Also, Zoasty aiming here for a strat where you get a blue ball, use spring ball, get the missiles, and then jump into the hole. Really precise, almost aiming it, however, just almost. All these spring ball strat are really, really hard to pull off, so definitely not a shame missing them. It's still always cool if players go for them. It looks really insane if you get it.
Picking up some powerful bombs. Meanwhile, Kanzeon making his way into Norfair. He's going to be picking up the Ice Beam.
Almost getting that speedball strat here. While Zoast now coming up on the Franker Z missiles. So make your Franker Z's ready in the chat.
So Zoasty is going to have to do a bit of cleanup. Ooh, and a very nice deboost in the Bubble Mountain there. He's going to be cleaning up Bubble Mountain, then making his way towards Crocomire. Very nice D-boost from Kanzeon as he makes his way down the crumble shaft. Saved himself a bit of time there.
Another item that I would consider really hard to find for casual players, the missiles that just collected right next to the reserve tank, just hidden inside a block that you're supposed to stand on. Really nice Force for hiding all those items in these interesting spots. And all those D-boosts here from Zoasty and Bubble Mountain.
I really wonder how we found some of these items as casual players back in the day. Like that one, the missile tank in the Mama Turtle room, that one is just...
Yeah, especially
how would you find that?
There's like a slightly different shaded pixel in the wall, but yeah, so it's really hard. I guess like older siblings telling you about them, don't question where they found them at that time. Yeah. So now, Zoasty, gonna be one of the funniest fights in 100% in Euro. Crocomire fight here with Plasma.
Yeah, it's gonna be one shot, one kill, and that'll be the end of Crocomire, as the Plasma Beam is gonna hit him about 300 times, causing Crocomire to just step back into the lava.
Zoasty playing some hide and seek here, making himself invisible. Oh, there he is.
He's going to be going for the spike suit again. Not able to get it. He'll have another chance on his... Oh, he's going to go for it right now.
We hope. Okay.
No, just spine. Across.
The thing with this spike suit is that actually getting this particular spike suit and carrying it all the way over to the X-ray room where you're going to do the X-ray spark is actually part of the 20-second time save of New Route, which is insane. Yeah, again, missing that is not a shame. Again, it's a double frame perfect trick, so not really that is something that is easy to get.
Yeah, I mean, he did only get 2 of the spike suits this run, which is still, you know...
Only 2 spike suits, what a noob.
Clearly. Kanzeon making his way through the worst room in the game. And we can see some of the time save that Zoasty is getting from doing these rooms later on, as he doesn't have to worry about any of these ridiculous grapple strats. He can just space jump his way across the pantry. Making his way into the cosine room. Showing off more of those insane spring ball strats. Very nicely done.
Yeah, there are some really cool strats you can do in the Crocomire area with all that high-end equipment that you cannot do in Old Route. Makes this look really cool. And still, we saw some tricks from Kanzeon that we unfortunately couldn't see on Zo's stream, so on both routes, really showing off some cool tricks that we cannot see in each other's route, and both runners performing excellently here in their particular route. So now Zo's only gotta collect one more missile, and then he's done with the Norfolk cleanup. Gonna go for X-Ray and Retro Brinstar next, and then he's pretty much done after a few more items and criteria. And he also has to do Gauntlet, which Kanzeon already did. So at this point, the runners are pretty far apart from each other, but still there is some stuff that Zoasty has to do that Kanzeon already did, which you have to keep in mind.
So, how many times have you forgot X-ray and runs?
Well, you mean on purpose?
No. Just I've forgotten X-ray more than once in 100% runs. It's always really embarrassing. So,
Well, I didn't. Well, I don't want to say didn't forget it a single time yet, but there were some times when I was already past Red Tower when I noticed that I actually forgot it. I had to go back there, but yeah, just missing it all the way to the end is like especially since you don't really need X-ray for anything in this route. Even though it's incredibly useful for showing you where items are. As a speedrunner, you should kind of know where items are, right?
yeah, hopefully we're not looking through walls and trying to figure out the locations of items.
Well, maybe there is this 101st item somewhere. Last secret missile pack.
We haven't found it yet.
Yep, Kanzeon finishing off Ridley, being a little bit like it doesn't have the good patterns that Zoast had, unfortunately. Still a pretty respectable fight now, collecting the Riddle E tank.
Do you think we're going to see a reverse slinky from Zoasty here?
He's definitely gonna go for it. At least I hope he's gonna. Yep, going for the setup. Let's see. Getting the shot, unfortunately not getting the morph. Yeah, reverse slinky is that where you basically speedball all the way up Green Hill. Only 2 runners got it so far, so it's kind of understandable if you don't get it. And I think it saves about 5 seconds over like an optimal strat that does not go for it. So it's a really insane strat that doesn't save a lot of time, but it's incredibly cool, especially since, as I said, only 2 people got it so far, which is like insane of a trick. Still, seeing these top tier runners aiming for it, and Zoast actually being one of the people who did not get it so far, is pretty much insane.
Yeah, probably the hardest trick in the game.
Oh, actually, sorry, Fuster just corrected me. It's actually only like 2 seconds, which makes it even more insane. Yeah, and it doesn't even say 5 seconds. What am I saying? It's only 2 seconds.
Well, it looks like there's just 1 missile pack here. But wait, there's more as we come across the Billy Mays missiles from Zoasty. There's another wraparound shot that Zoasty can do there in that room.
Yeah, that wraparound shot actually has a pretty convenient setup since you can use like the scrolling off the minimap for it. Doesn't go for it. Definitely, I want to say, nah. It saves a marginal of time. Definitely the one wraparound shot which saves the least amount of time. Still decent if you get it. Showing off that like wraparound shots are actually a thing, since they're like completely not used in like 80%, for example. However, making for a nice shine spark here through the old Mother Brain room.
Kanzeon making his way out of the lower North Air. Zoasty with a very significant lead still.
And now, just as well for Kanzeon, we have the Franker Z missiles. So now Zoasty coming up on the so-called last missiles, since they are usually the last item you get in 100%, at least in the most ran route. Zoasty still having to do late gauntlets, so it's gonna be the third last missiles, which is not that good of a name. Still,
to be fair, it's not much better than, or it's not much worse than the last missiles. So,
right. zoasty X-raying the surrounding there, checking for more items. Actually, one of the good things that you get X-ray that late in like most 100% routes, can kind of block your muscle memory, I want to say, since at some points you don't want to item cancel with actually item cancel, but rather switch all the items with item select. But then there's X-ray, conveniently enough activating with the dash button, and then you're just dashing, and then you're just standing there because you activated X-ray. Yo, oh man, if he actually gets this, that's unfortunate.
still amazing that he can speedball into this. It's not going to cost him any time to miss that, however, because he can just screw attack straight through these blocks.
Yeah, there's actually a strat that you can do with the wraparound shot that we saw from Kanzeon earlier, which is like a really old strat, which I don't think any runners do anymore. We actually do the wraparound shot and manage to keep the speed with the spring ball all the way through that door till the E-tank, which is like pretty much like the gauntlet spark, but only with like reverse slinky style. It looks insanely cool. But yeah, as I said, it's a pretty old high tier strat, I think. Didn't see like runners any runner go for it in quite a while, but it's a pretty cool strat. And now Zo's actually collecting the last missiles, hopefully, unless he forgot one. While Kanzeon finished up with Norfair, now heading up to the Brinstar and Criteria cleanup.
Zoast 3 minutes behind his PB. He's probably not too thrilled about that. That being said, he's on pace for about a 118, which is a very insane run.
Yeah, being +3 in world record pace is like no shame, especially considering how optimized the world record 100% is. Yeah, this insane pace here from Zoast at this point. Kanzeon is coming up on X-Ray. Zoast, again, having a last opportunity to check Cinder.
Let's hope he takes that. I believe this is the longest wait in the game. Hence why we call it the waiting room.
And now we come up on the Metroid rooms here in Torian. One of the things that looks actually most impressive in 100%, just as well as in 80%, incredibly hard to optimize those Metroid rooms, get it like the optimal, fastest way. So it's making it look easy the way he does that, rushing through those Metroid rooms. It's insanely hard to do it that way. With all those strats, it's a lot of stuff that can just go horribly wrong. Just the way he's rushing through there is like, literally insane. With actually missing a shot there, but with Spring Ball you just switch through the items so fast. It's like, really hard to make up for good Tyrian, but if you can actually make one, it can actually save you about a few minutes of like just good optimization over like bad way of doing it.
So Kanzeon doing the Retro Brinstar cleanup. Meanwhile, zoasty is going to be going for the Baby Metroid skip. Skipping this cutscene by just dancing around the Metroid a whole bunch. Saves you about 20 seconds, I think.
Yeah, have a nice tango with the Metroid here. Sort of hard to get, definitely not one of the easiest tricks in the game, actually one of the hardest. And nailing it in only a very few jumps. That's really good. There's some stuff that can go really wrong with the Metroid, sometimes it's just not cooperating really well. Yeah, it can actually be a big run killer on PB bases, especially since it's that late in the run. Can be really scary. Zo's going here for a strat, which allows him to not deactivate X-Ray, which would cause for another pause, but rather going for a down-back strat to clip through the Zebetite, speeding this up quite a little bit.
He's going to damage himself a little bit to make the Mother Brain fight go a little bit quicker. He's going to fire 20 shots into Mother Brain's face, and then he'll be doing the stand-up glitch, which will allow him to take pot shots at Mother Brain as the Metroid is latched onto Samus.
Yeah, Mother Brain to not really impressive fight, especially not for a final boss fight. The stand-up glitch actually way more impressive than the actual fight. Zoast here damaging him down to a certain number of health points, allowing him to stand up after this attack, the Rainbow Beam, which you're usually not supposed to do, and then allowing Zoast to actually deal damage to Mother Brain face free before you're actually supposed to, speeding up the fight a little bit. Still giving for some soft block potential, and also potential to create some really heavy lag during the fight if you screw up some parts, but hopefully we won't see that from both of the runners.
Yeah, there's a million ways to soft lock during Mother Brain. We saw that in Matrix Race versus Stefcad? No, Behemoth yesterday, I think. At any rate, you don't want to soft lock. There's points where you cannot fire your beam, otherwise you will kill the run.
Yeah, and not only can you soft lock, zoasty actually, there's actually a few parts in this cutscene where the game forces Samus to crouch, as you saw on Zo's screen right now. Actually saved it by selecting X-Ray and activating it, allowing him to stand up again. But yeah, not only can you soft block, you can also create some really heavy lag that can last for a long time if you fire a shot during the transition to Hyper Beam. So it's getting quite a few shots in here on MB3. Ideally you want to get 39 shots in, which is requires pretty much for his perfect stand-up glitch. We're probably going to see a lot more than only one Hyper Beam shot here on MB3 on Zo's screen. As long as he's not too greedy, which he isn't, yeah, finishes off MB3. While Kanzeon got the last missiles, not having to do Gauntlet, and now heading for G4 and then for Turret.
Yeah, and hopefully Zoasty hasn't missed an item, but if he nails this escape... Well, you know what, at this point I really think this is just the race for Zoasty, with Kanzeon just entering Turian right now.
Well, it kind of looks like that, but still, there is the option, even though it's unlikely, that Zoast forgot an item, which, considering that he didn't save, will be the victory for Kanzeon. Going for a really nice speed keep strat here, getting through the speed block, saving a little bit of time over bonking against the ceiling with Shine Spark. But yeah, we saw Zoast for getting items earlier, like in a few practice. Like I remember like watching a month ago where he forgot an item, just quit the stream right when the 99% was to see. So hopefully it's not gonna happen, but it's still an option. Zoast opting for Behemoth Spark, unfortunately missing the Shine Spark, and just taking a quick climb here again.
Yeah, I think he just wants this run to be over at this point. He's not going to save the animals because he's a good person.
He will save the animals because he's a good person.
I'm certain that you're wrong. Oh, look at that. He skipped the animals. What? That's a shame. He completely killed them. That's...
Yeah, they're not dead. They're escaping just in the opposite direction so that the player cannot see it with the camera. Really unfortunate. So Zoast officially done in the SRL channel with a race time of 1:18:55. Incredible time.
I can't imagine he's pleased about it, but that's still an unbelievably fast time.
Yeah, for like mere mortals, this is an insane time. For like someone opting for world records, maybe not that much. This is, you saw some of the strats those we're doing. This is just an insane run. So does Kanzeon right now in insane run. Already in the third Metroid room. Doing a really nice job here. Getting through them really fast, solving these Metroids really quick. Coming up on another mini-boss, Dust Teresa. We'll see how he does there. Oh good, actually getting the quick kill with only one shot. Really respectable.
Very nicely done.
Also, 47 in-game time here for Zoast. That's insane. Yeah, so now for Kanzeon, hopefully he'll get the baby skip. Just as well as Zoast did. Getting the first jump, shooting these guys on the ceiling, creating all these dust particles, creates heavy metal on the flag, which really helps you to nail these jumps, and Kanzeon getting the baby skip without any problem. Pretty good.
Kanzeon's on a pretty good pace here, looking at a 125, I'd say, which is a pretty good runtime. Actually,
Definitely.
really good.
Yeah, and especially you gotta keep in mind that this is a race, and race conditions are always a lot harder than like your usual surrounding where you can just stream, have a fun time with chat, and don't think of anything. Like races are usually a lot more stressful than just normal runs, so getting those times in actual racing conditions in a tournament is really, really respectable. So now Kanzeon setting up for the stand-up pitch as well. Looks pretty alright. While we can now on those screens see his item percentage count in just a second.
Also, the big reveal, the Deer Force, and
Your Force?
Samus is a girl?
Metroid is Grill?
Unbelievable.
I love this community. Of all the Franker faces and the Deal Force. So now, the big reveal, item percentage counter, is at 100%, so Zoast officially confirmed as the the winner of this race. Congrats to Zoast with this incredible time. With that high 118.
Very nicely done.
Just gonna see Kanzeon here performing really well in the stand-up glitch. Gonna see him finishing off. Actually, Kanzeon looks like he has much better time with this stand-up glitch than Zoast had, especially considering that he didn't get forced into crouching position. So this may actually be a way better third phase Mother Brain for Kanzeon than for Zoast. Let's see. Mother Brain already looks really red.
This definitely puts Kanzeon on a 125 pace, so very nicely done. Provided he doesn't soft lock here, which he doesn't, very wisely chooses to just take it easy for 2 seconds, making the Mother Brain...
2 shots? 3 shots? Regardless, really respectable MV3. That was really well-performed stand-up glitch here. So now we just have the escape left here on Kanzeon's side. Hopefully he's gonna save the animals like a real man.
Hopefully it doesn't, because that would be terrible, and it would actually disqualify him from the race and lose the respect of the community.
I don't think you know how the respect thing works. You gotta really overthink that mentality.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're wrong, but We can disagree to agree if you want.
Right, I agree. Yeah, Kanzeon unfortunately having a little bit of a problem here with this escape room. This escape room in particular without screw attack, really, really hard, in my opinion at least, because the space pirates are everywhere shooting french fries at you. It's really not a lot of fun getting through where another thing why it's really advantages, there are a lot of advantages to learn the down back strat for the Zeptide skip, especially since you don't have to deactivate screw attack here for this particular escape room. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be... Yeah, that's gonna be at 125. Yep, does not save the animals.
Very
which means
nicely
that
done.
they will have to save themselves.
That's too bad. What a shame. The animals are dead.
No, they are not. They are alive.
And nobody shed a tear for the animals except for Ponk.
Anyways, Kanzeon officially done in the SRL channel with a race time of 125.29. Low 20, 125 here for Kanzeon. GG. Really respectable time in this race here. Yeah.
Now we're just going to wait on the big reveal to find out if he got 100% of the items. But in the meantime, we can talk about some upcoming races on the speed game.
Right.
We have, I believe, that's 4 left. And then this tournament is going to be moving on to the single elimination.
There are still some that are unscheduled, I think, but yeah, we're really pretty much done with the round robin mode here. So yeah, for today there's actually no more races, but on midnight Eastern Standard Time, so in about 3 hours,
6 hours.
4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours.
Oh my gosh, it is 4 hours. You're right.
Yeah, in about 4 hours. We're gonna have a race, JRO versus Galamos from my beloved group Spling Ball. That's gonna be a really nice race. Then 3 hours, actually not. Yeah. Then tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna have White Mage Becky against Zoasty again, from Group Deer Force. And that's pretty much all for that. There's going to be a few more races on December 23rd and a few races that are unscheduled yet. But yeah, if you enjoy this gameplay and 100%, you should definitely wait for 4 hours more to watch Galamos vs JRO. Both are incredibly skilled. Both pretty much kicked my asses in my group. But yeah, you should definitely watch that.
It's going to be pretty good. And then after that, we're going to take a bit of a break for, like we said, Christmas, other things, and then it'll be AGDQ, and then this tournament will pick back up with the single elimination.
Yeah. Also, we could have a really quick look at Group D Force here, where those two runners are from. Currently, first place, Kanzeon with now 3 victories and 1 loss, putting him so far in first place. Then right behind there is going to be Zoasty now with 2 victories and 1 loss. Behind that, White Mage Becky also with 2 victories and 1 loss. So White Mage Becky is still having chances here to get out of round robin mode, while Kanzeon is already confirmed being out of round robin, getting into the single elimination rounds. But yeah, the match White Mage Becky versus Zoasty will decide about the results of Group Deer Force here. And now we're coming up on another Deal Force here on Kanzeon stream, and for the final item percentage counter.
And it looks like 100%.
Yep.
That's going to do it for this race, folks.
Both runners not getting a penalty time, not having to reset. Really respectable run for both runners. Yep, that was it.
Yep, make sure to give the runners a follow. That's
Definitely.
Kanzeon and zoasty. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Punk.
Same to you. Yeah, and make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming races and after Christmas for the single elimination runs.
See you guys next mission.
Bye.